Okay, so I want to give you guys one small second on combining transformations. Okay, so how do you combine a whole mess of shiftings together? Like, what do you do? What have I told you guys for decomposing these things? First things first, what?
Grouping.
Yeah, go do your order of operations to this, right? Think about, if I had an x, what would I do first? So first things first on this one, what are you going to do?
Multiply x by 2.
Multiply by 2. Then what?
Subtract 3.
Then you're going to subtract 3. Then you're going to
Take an absolute value.
absolute value.
Multiply by -1.
Then you're going to multiply by -1. And then you're going to finally
Add 5.
add 5.
Good lord.
Okay, so I think I hopefully showed you guys this set of decompositions, except I said something like, and when there's two things happening before the rules, you have to be extremely careful. You guys remember me saying something like that? Cool, good talk. Okay, so go back in your mind and edit that memory and put that in there of me saying, when there's a couple things before the rule, you have to be super stupid careful. Okay? So let's go through here and figure out what's going on. I think the ones after the rule are pretty easy. What's happening after the rule?
You're flipping it over the x-axis and adding 5.
Good. So out of the multiply by -1, there's a vertical flip, right? This is the rule that's giving me my shape, which in this picture is a what? What's an absolute value look like? Cool, V shapes. Right, so I'm thinking V, my rule's going on here. After the rule, I have a multiply by 1, that's a vertical flip, and a up 5. That's cool. Okay, before the rule, what do I have going on?
You're multiplying by 2 and then
Yeah, there's a multiply by 2, right? Which is a, yeah, that's a horizontal compression. Right, so compress towards the x-axis by a factor of 2. And then this thing is a,
move to the right by 3.
yeah, that's a right 3.
So what are we being careful about?
Okay. Being careful that you have to do these backwards. So, right, like, if I'm going to draw a picture of this, let me just naively draw a picture. Okay, so my V shape needs to go right 3, up 5. So I'm going right 3, up 5. Should be noted that this is not going to work. Dot, right? Vertical flip means my V is going to open upside down. The compress by 2, right, is going to mean that my V has slope
Slope of
2 down for every over 1, right? Boom, V, something like this. Yes? I would say my vertex is here at 3, 5. Is 3, 5 even on the graph of that thing? No. What's the point of the graph have to look like? Right? Like if I say 3, 5 is the vertex, it's right there. I'm saying that if you put 3 into that function, you'll get 5 out. Is that true? No, if you put 3 in there,
You get -1.
You get 8 out.
right? So if I put 3 in here, I get twice 3 minus 3 is 3, negative, plus 5, I get 2 out. So what the hell happened there?
You did it out of order.
Yeah, I did my shiftings out of order. So I just kind of wrote these things down, right? And I did the easy ones first. I did this one and that one and this one, right? And then when I compressed, you guys see I didn't actually compress? I did that, like I said, oh, and then my slope is blah, 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 right? That was me compressing this V originally and then moving it. So I made the mistake of just going from left to right in terms of reading these off and just doing the actions. You guys see that? But there's no justice in the world. This crap happens backwards. Remember that? Like this one was right 3 because my intuition's off. So I should have done the right 3 the way I did, but then compressed the whole picture by a factor of 2. You guys see that? We should bring this dot in from 3, 5 to 3/2. So if I plug 3/2 in there, you guys see that I get 5 out? Cool. So with these ones, you have to be super, super careful. You have to go from the rule out. I would do the horizontal stuff first, and then do the vertical stuff afterwards. You guys cool? Does everybody understand what happened there? You want to see it done right? Okay, so let me ditch this picture.
On page 253, it has a little list of order for.
Yeah, there's a little list, and your book does this thing where they say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to factor a 2 out of this, and then we're going to have an x minus 3/2 there, right? And so in their order, right, they're doing the shift first and then the compression. You guys see that? And that works right, because you do that backwards and then you do the...
Yeah.
So I just want you guys to remember that these bits go backwards.
Okay.
So what I would do is I'm going to start with my V shape, right? Standard V, right? Over 1, up 1. Then I'm going to right, that's here. Then I'm going to think, okay, I'm going to move this thing right 3 units. So I'm going to go, okay, boom, that's 3. Here's 0 over here. I moved everything right 3 units. I did that bit. Then I'm going to compress by a factor of 2. And so that's going to scooch everything in, which is going to make this guy steeper and smush this. That's cool. Then I'm going to do the vertical bits, or the after the rule bits, right? So I'm going to flip this thing over. I really should have drawn all of that. Sorry.
How come you're doing the opposite of multiplying by 2 for the compression?
Because it's an X thing. It happens before the rule, and they're all backwards.
Well, then how come you went right 3 instead of going left 3?
I did right 3 because they're subtracting 3.
Well, yeah,
Right.
you multiplied by, and you divided there. So you do the opposite. You said it's backwards. You did the opposite there, but you went with the rule on with going right. Wouldn't you go left 3 if you're doing it opposite?
So what I mean is that these two things have to be applied out from the rule.
Okay.
So instead of doing horizontal compress and then right 3, I have to do right 3 first, then horizontal compress.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then you have to remember too that multiplying by 2 isn't a stretch, it's a compress because it's happening before the rule. And subtracting 3 isn't a left, it's a right.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
You guys cool with that? Okay, so then we flip this over, right, and scoot it up, and that'll get us to our appropriate point. You okay?
Yeah, I'm alright. I don't know
Okay.
if this chair is, but.